you had to play against that guy is always difficult. I think has to be always difficult.
And part of the question is like that, creating those teams and creating that culture within those teams. What's the difference between doing it maybe them years ago, the teams I played against, compared to the current type of generation of players now? What's the difference being able to create those cultures? Because it's new age now.
I think what you are speaking about different generations. I was going in the initial part of my answer. I was going more in the difference of potential. In the difference of potential, I think it creates also a different way of playing, and creates also a different way of approaching. I always say, you have to be arrogant on the pitch when your team is the best one. And you have to be more cautious when your team is not the best one. When your team is the best, you have to show your power. When your team is not the best, you have to hide or try to hide your problems, to try to create a balance. Going from generation to generation, I don't have the feeling of previous generations are better than now, or people of 20 years ago has a different approach to what people has now. I think in the end, the same ingredients are there. But of course, we can feel that looking just to you. It is a great podcast, isn't it?
I hope it is.
25 years ago, podcasts?
No.
No podcasts. So communication was very, very different. I feel that a journalist now, what is a journalist now? Do you know what I mean? What was a coach or a manager 25 years ago, what is now, is also difficult to compare. And in relation to the players, is also difficult to compare. There is an evolution in everything, and there is an evolution in terms of mentality. Years ago, probably I thought there is my ideal of what a player should be. There is my ideal of what a professional should be. But to transport this in pure terms to today, I think is wrong, because we are speaking about a complete different world. What for us 20 years ago was impossible to happen, now happen and is impossible to change.
Social media is a big thing as well.
Everything, you know. When I was an assistant coach in Barcelona, it was the beginning of the mobile phones, and was forbidden for the players to be on the mobile phone. You think it's forbidden now?
Half time they're on the phone, no?
Almost, or maybe yes. So you have to adapt to that. I think I adapted very, very well. To that. I like to feel young, and to feel young when you work amongst the young guys, you just have to adapt, but trying to keep a certain line of what a professional has to be, or what a professional should be. And I think we are in a world where people makes football players more individual. They are more individual in everything, the way they think, the personal ambitions, the people around them, the structure around them. The club has a nutritionist, but they have one. The club has a huge structure of sports science, but they have their man. Probably one day a great coaching staff, but maybe at home the goalkeeper coach has another goalkeeper. The goalkeeper has another goalkeeper coach. Everything becomes more individual, and I think the fight, if you can call it a fight, is to try to make these individuals be a team. Be a team. I think this is the fundamental fight, if you can call it a fight.
What do you think is most important then when you're trying to build a team? Is it the raw ability or is it character?
In relation to the individuality?
Well, just building a team to win.
You know, I think the first thing to build a proper team is the connection between the structures. The players, and I think you will laugh at it, the players are very intelligent.
Intelligent?
Yeah. If not intelligent in terms of IQ, because not everyone, of course, is, but that specific intelligent of feeling, of analyzing things, of feeling things, of reading things, even in between the lines, the players are very clever. The players are very, very intelligent. They look and they understand. They look to each other and without a word, they know what they are saying. I think they feel the strength and they feel the fragility. And in this moment where the structures of the clubs are very complex, I think it's very important that the players, they feel that they are complex, but they are compact. In your time, you just need to look to Sir Alex, look at him, and in 2 seconds you understand what you have in front of you, and then you respect, maybe a little bit of fear, but not, I prefer to say respect, and then you trust, and then you believe, and then you know that if you make something wrong, you are in trouble, he's not in trouble, you know that you are not going to manipulate anybody, you don't care about the press, and
everything's clear, isn't it?
Everything is clear. In this moment, the structures are very complex, but I think the structures must be built in a way where complexity doesn't mean problems, and sometimes that complexity has to be transformed in something where it's easy for the players to understand that there are no conflicts, there is empathy, and there is, you know, something strong behind the players, behind or before the players' performance. I think this is the most important thing. When you have this and you have a good communication between the structure, I think anything is possible.
I want to move on to things like the rivalries. You've played in some huge clubs, managed huge clubs. Where would you say the biggest rivalries have been? Because it seems intense at Roma, but equally, if not more, in Madrid, Chelsea in London. Where's in Porto as well? Where's been the rivalry you've gone, oh my God, that is different?
You know, it is everywhere, to be honest. Roma, Spain, Portugal is hard. England, I believe, with more discipline, but the rivalries, of course, you know that they are very, very strong. In Latin countries, in Latin cultures, becomes maybe, you can feel more the emotion of it, even on the negative side, even with some aggression, even with some violence before, after matches. England is, I believe, much more structured nowadays, luckily, without this level of problems. But I would say that my times at Real Madrid, these 3 years in Real Madrid were years of a huge rivalry with Barcelona. Also because it was not just the cultural